want you to be my wife. Get away from me!
It doesn't take much to make some people angry. It can start with a fierce look, a close call with a car, disappointments on your job, or just a broken heart. No matter what the cause, when the right buttons are pushed, within seconds your adrenaline can skyrocket, sending you into an uncontrollable rage. Before you know it, you can end up like this. Dueling it out, sometimes with complete strangers. The next step is jail. Eloisa Granado may tell it best. She was out with her sister one night on South Beach, looking to vent her anger, and she found a way.
I opened my car door, I hit, their car with our car door, and I flicked my cigarette at her face and stuff. Next thing I know, we're on the ground and we're pulling each other's hairs and this and that, and I've never been arrested in my life, so this was really major for me because all of a sudden I felt cuffs come on, And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to jail and I have to call my mom now and let her know that I'm in jail. This is really embarrassing.
Although she feels that way now, it was a different story when the punches were flying.
Whatever, but when I finally had somebody to use them as my punching bag, it felt a lot better. I really felt a lot better after that fight.
What's frightening is that looking back, she didn't even realize how angry she was.
It's weird because when I don't really get upset very easily. A lot of things really have to build up before you take me to the boiling point, But when it does, you better watch out because I won't chill out and I won't calm down for anybody. That's just the way that I am. And I wish that it weren't like that. I wish that I could just when I'm upset, be upset, But I'm the type of person I'm like, I'm not gonna let it get to me. I don't care. I'm just ignoring you, whatever, But see, a lot of things have been going on in past months or whatever, just issues that you have with friends and family members and things that go on in your life that, they seem so little, when you just single them out or whatever, but when you put them all together, it's an atomic combination.
Eloisa's bout on the beach won her an invitation here, the Advocate Program. It's a state-run organization that teaches people how to control their anger and how it evolves.
We create our own anger in essentially two ways. First, we get aroused or stressed out about something. What are some things that arouse us or stress us out?
Disrespect.
Disrespect, okay. Ignorance, okay. Stupidity. Yeah, girls, boys, guys. Knowing that just because the person or the individual gets angry doesn't mean that he or she is a bad person. Anger it's a feeling, it's an emotion, it's something that you're entitled to have. What's important is not to take that anger out on others who haven't caused the problem. What the individual should do is find out what caused the problem and try to resolve the problem and not take the anger out on others.
You may think you don't have an anger problem, but if you don't practice ways to prevent anger, you may become the next victim.
Because one bout of anger can destroy your life. What you want to do when you start to feel angry, you want to breathe in through your nose, slowly breathe out through your mouth, relax all the muscles in your body, just relax and try to think about anything else to help take your mind off of what's bothering you. Try to distract yourself. So you won't get so angry that you'll end up doing things that you later regret.
Eloisa may have learned about uncontrollable anger the hard way, but says you don't have to.
Just because something's going wrong in your life or something's going bad, you don't have to act upon it. You just got to live through the emotion. You can let yourself be angry, but don't find somebody to take it out on, You just got to pray if it's going to help you, You got to write if that's going to help you. Go exercise, find an outlet, but don't let your anger control you. You got to control your anger.
We spoke with another one of Eloisa's classmates, Rodney Dickey, who wound up in the program after getting into a family feud.
I can remember that very same day coming out of my house. We live on a cul-de-sac, and the police cars, the fire trucks, everybody was blocked in that cul-de-sac, so nobody could get out. So it's I'm coming out of my house, and my neighbors are there looking at me. It was embarrassing.
He says he expressed his anger with words. Some of his family members disagree.
I didn't hurt anyone. The mother-in-law I never even touched, but she's saying I did. I definitely was up in her face screaming, and, you know.
What led to that argument may sound familiar to some of you.
I think the button that they pushed was basically trying to manage a house or a home that I pay for. And that was pretty much the straw that broke the camel's back.
Rodney tells us he's surprised by his actions because he says it takes a lot to get him angry. Since he's been in the Advocate program, he has this to say about losing your cool.
How to see when a situation's getting, you know, to a point where it can get physical or it can become violent, how to remove yourself from that situation or not allow yourself to get totally mixed up into it.
Well, let's get to the root of the problem. We know it is natural to get angry, but why?
Financial problems, family, work, kids, children, spouse, husband, wives, boyfriend, a girlfriend. We tend to think about those things and it turns into anger. We think about it, it turns into anger. You see, it's a cycle there. It's a cycle.
We asked Dr. Frank Zaneri, a psychologist in the Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
And there are certain reasons, of course, why individuals of all ages do get angry. And if any violent anger event, violence especially, that you can ever think of is really attributed to three basic areas. Individuals' inability to deal with criticism, anger, or rejection. And as we think about the spectrum, the wide spectrum of violent issues that have taken place in our society for years and years, if we really look at the root of these issues, you can indeed find the way back to those particular points of origin. These are issues that are going to be common in everyone's life. We're always going to have to deal with criticism, where there are going to be points where our buttons are pushed and we're going to get angry, and certainly we're going to be rejected for jobs, rejected in relationships, and the factor is that we can all look at as a constant theme is that we need to have coping skills that will make us deal with these issues in a much more positive manner.
Zaneri says the reason anger can turn into violent action is because there's no intervention. Nothing to stop verbal anger from turning into rage, and rage from turning into violent behavior, sometimes even murder.
And we know there are many stressors out there, more than ever, that cause people to not be themselves, as they say, and they apologize after the fact for whatever explosion they may have had. But if you recognize that you're having difficulties coping with whatever it is in your environment, a bad marriage, alcohol or drug abuse of a loved one, a multitude of other circumstances, including having to work multiple hours and jobs, if we recognize that there are many things going on that are pushing our buttons far too often and make us do or say things that we're not very proud of, what do we have to do to make a difference? Well, my suggestion is to recognize it for what it is and seek assistance from those that are trained to do something about it.
Seeking help can come in a personal or professional form.
Now, for some folks, that could be someone of a spiritual, religious background that you have trust in. For others, it may mean going to some type of community resource, such as a mental health agency, basically, which has, unfortunately, over the ages had stigmas attached to it, that if I seek help in this arena, somehow that means I'm crazy. We're not saying that at all. You know, this is not craziness. This is just recognition of an issue that is not causing a lot of positiveness in your life. And then basically, how do I get better?
The bottom line is, there is help out there if you need it. Zaneri says there are several hotlines you can call, but you have to go to them. They aren't going to come to you. Take action now, before you take action later.
In every state, you can find agencies that will help people manage their anger. These organizations may also conduct educational programs in your community. Check your local telephone directory for a support hotline.